Hello, everybody. It's Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming here with another reaction video. Today is a good day. Cause say what you will about the game, say what you will about the game's story, but it is undeniable that Blizzard's cinematic department is still top tier. Excellent quality every time. Even if we disagree with some of the story beats, like I did with the Shadowlands cinematic, but we have another one. Watch the Shadowlands launch cinematic from World of Warcraft. The link for this video will be in the description down below. I'm ready. I think we're all ready. 1080p. Let's get right to this and see what is beyond the veil. Oh my god, Bastion looks amazing. The setting for Shadowlands is easily my favorite they probably ever did outside of like Mop. Bastion looks so good! I love the whole Angel Sky Continent aesthetic. It's so good. Odd Wheeled again. It's like, Shadowlands is basically if they took all of my favorite aesthetics of WoW and just made an expansion based off that. Like, look at Odd Wheeled. Dude, the Winter Queen looks freaking dope. Look at her. There we go. Oh, Maldraxxus. Probably my least excited zone, but it's still a really cool aesthetic. I love the undead whole aesthetic. Like, look at the visuals here. I love how each zone has its own color scheme. Like, oh my god. See, I never really understood how the hell a Necropolis was a freaking siege tower. That helped show it. Revendreth, oh my god, give me Bloodborne. What if Bloodborne and Gilneas had like a love child? This was the zone that was birthed from that creation. Well, it sucks to be that guy. Oh, Denathrius. Dude, Denathrius looks awesome. Dude, look at the freaking shine on his armor. Sucks to be him, too. God, this looks so good.
Beyond the veil lies darkness, where every soul has its place.
The jailer looks infinitely better here than he did in the than he does in game. Infinitely better. Way more cool. Alright, that was short and sweet. Really short and sweet, but I don't think we need like much story development or anything. It's just to show off the zones, and I can appreciate that. And one thing that I think the cinematic did really well is give character and personality to each of the 4 zones that we go to. Technically 5 if you count the Maw with the jailer here. But let's just like start off from the beginning. Bastion. It's an angel zone. It is what it is. I love that. I love that just like running with it. With having like if you play it in game, even on the beta, there's some like obvious like Greek influences, but it just adds to each other to make a really cool zone aesthetic. I love Bastion. I love the blue sky. I love the color scheme.
Lies the Shadowlands.
I love these like little stars you see at the end of these cloud trails.
Every soul has its place.
Like, that's objectively cool. Please let a flying mount literally just be my character grows wings and flies. I would love that. Odd and Wheeled. WoW has no shortage of forest zones, but they still manage to make Odd and Wheeled feel very unique. It's a very similar color palette to zones, say, for like Ashenvale and stuff like that. But they just up the fantasy element of it. Like, look at these like winding branches, almost like a galaxy's spiral arms. I love these like massive trees that just loom over the rest of the entire forest of Ardenweald. The sky, it's gorgeous. I love the whole purple and green. Like, I don't get much winter from the zone personally, but but you get it through the color scheme. It's hard to put into. I don't exactly know how to put it into words. It's just a really beautiful color scheme they have going for Ardenweald, where a lot of it's very dim and dark in areas, but then you have like these like very bright spots of like bioluminescence, and you have these giant like starry trees. It's a really cool aesthetic. Also, the armor they did for all of these like characters are so good. Like, look at the Winter Queen's armor here. How you can see, like, every detail they want you to see. So cool. How her face, like, kind of turns into leaves here. Like, that's cool. It fits the zone. It fits the character. I'm not gonna lie to you, Moldraxxus might have been my favorite part of this entire cinematic. I don't know, it's hard to put into which one I like most. Like, this looks really cool. I kind of think Moldraxxus is sort of held back because of WoW's graphics. Because in the cinematic, I would argue Moldraxxus probably looks the coolest visually for me. I love the whole undead storyline, the undead aesthetic. I love all of that. But in game, kind of because of WoW's graphics, you don't really get that whole sense, the whole grandeur this zone is. Because if in game it feels kind of looks desolate and barren, and that's kind of the point. But I feel like with in the realm of a cinematic, you can add more detail to the scene. And not just make it look like splotches on the ground. Like, you can see the slime and the ectoplasmic goo on all of these rocks and all this. Like, all the fungus here. It looks really cool. You see the clouds up here, the storm clouds. And you have, like, clear sky over here, but it's still green. You know what this reminds me of? If you ever played StarCraft 2, it kind of reminds me of, like, the planet Shaw, which is the homeworld of the Zerg. Just, like, with a green color over it. And that's not a bad thing. Like, that's really cool. Yeah, love that. Then, of course, like, does Revendreth really need an introduction? Like, if you like Revendreth's art style, you love Revendreth. The reds, the blacks, the yellows. The contrast between the rest of Revendreth with the colors of the souls that they torment to get the anima out of. Like, you have this, like, white, palish blue colors here. Contrasted with the dark blacks and bright blood reds here. Absolutely beautiful. The Nathrius, like, armor shining here. Like, look at the facial detail here. Like, compare this to some of the early WoW cinematics. You just see the progression go. Like, compare this to, like, the orc from the vanilla WoW trailer cinematic. You can just see, like, over time, Blizzard's, like, cinematic department just, like, upping their game tremendously. It's, like, the one aspect of any Blizzard product I never take issue with, because it's the cinematics, because they nail it every time, and they make you care about wanting to play the game. It's really good marketing. I'm really glad they're starting to just release more frequent cinematics. It's like a trend that started with MOP. Not MOP, but BFA. It's one of the few things that did really well with BFA. And then you have the Maw, with a green color that's very reminiscent, in my opinion, of Moldraxxus in certain aspects, but it's like green, right? But this is a more bright, like putrid, vomity green compared to the more pale light they have for the Maw. So while they use, like, yes, they're both technically green, but they're different tints and shades of green to give you different effects here. And I like the fact that for the Maw, they focus solely on the jailer here. And then he's tied down. Like, what's tying him down here?
The veil
I still kind of have a theory that we'll probably talk about in like a minute
lies
about the jailer. I don't think it's a particularly unique theory.
soul has its place.
You see, like, the runes like on the jailer's face. He looks way more menacing here than he does in game. In game, he looks like just someone I would have to ask directions to go to Muscle Beach for. In the cinematic, though, he looks vicious, and I like that. I like this jailer design. It's just another case of the in-game art style and in-game graphics not really lending themselves towards the art direction that Blizzard kind of wants to go to, in my opinion. I think the jailer in-game looks kind of goofy, but right here, he looks vicious and menacing. I love, like, look at the detail in his face, like the scarring here. Gives you the sense that he's been in battles before, and he's done a whole bunch of cool things. Like, look at the armor here, the texture on it. It looks great. Like, look at his eyes. You can see the details in his eyes as well. It's really cool. Like, the jailer in game is probably my least favorite enemy model we've had, but in the cinematic here, he looks great. He looked like S tier villain. My main thing with Shadowlands so far is I just want more jailer character development, and I feel like we're going to get it because I feel like the idea that the jailer is the big bad of Shadowlands is an example of Blizzard trying to misdirect the player. Because someone put him in chains here. And then someone, probably Sylvanas, broke him out. Why is he in chains here if he is supposed to be so important for them all? I don't know. Something will probably be told about over time as the expansion plays out. I don't know. Again, a very short and simple cinematic. I don't think it needs to be much more than that, though. I think what they did, their goal here was to clearly paint each zone within the cinematic and make people care about each zone, and I think they succeeded with that. Very short but simplistic and effective cinematography here. So yeah, another Blizzard cinematic. Again, it's really freaking good. What else do you want me to say? Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure for making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video and you want to see more content. I know I would appreciate it. Stay safe out there. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.